Hey guys, today I'd like to talk about my current makeup bag and my very core essentials in my makeup bag. Those don't change very frequently. I really stick to the core sort of set of products, and then I'll rotate through some of the color products and some of the more whimsical, finishing or interesting products, but there's always sort of a core of basics that I stick with and that I kind of use day to day, day in and day out until I run out and possibly then repurchase. So today that's what we're going to talk about. I might do further videos on sort of makeup bags for different weeks, or what am I rotating in and out of my collection. However, these are really basic products that are frequently just sort of staying in there, and I build the rest of my makeup on top of those. So let's start with the base, literally. This is going to be a Faced HangoverX. It's really lovely. This is a replenishing face primer with coconut water, electrolytes, and probiotics. It is silicone free. Essentially, this is a really nice prepping moisturizer for your skin. It doesn't have any slip to it. For dry skin, it's really truly a very good product. I don't think it's going to do very much for, say, oily skin. I don't have oily skin, but I cannot imagine it being very effective to hold on, to stick the makeup to your face and make it not move, although the sebum is being excreted from your pores. I don't have that problem. I have the opposite problem. I have dry skin that is easily dehydrated, and this guy really is very helpful. So I would recommend anybody with dry skin to test it out. It gives the same feel as a moisturizer. Essentially, it kind of is a moisturizer, but I do feel like my skin has an easier time with makeup distribution, and it glides on quite nicely. So this guy plays well with every foundation I've tried so far, silicone based or not, because it is such a basic product. Serum foundations work well over top of it, silicone based foundations work well over top of it, cream based foundations work very well on top of it. So I really was impressed with the fact that this is not going to make a mess out of your face due to incompatibility of ingredients in your base and in your makeup. Next is a foundation product, and this I've spoken to you about before. This is a Clinique Acne Solutions BB cream SPF 40. Mine is really beat up. It's really beat up because I use the crap out of it. It's really handy. Very liquidy. It has this nozzle that is not super hygienic. I would design this product packaging a little bit differently, I would say, because it's kind of gross to have this makeup on the nozzle, and I clean mine every day. But otherwise, this is a really lovely find and probably something I will repurchase in the future. Mine is in color light. It has SPF 40. This is the only SPF I have on my face. So I don't have any SPF in my moisturizer. I have SPF in my BB cream. So for winter, I think it's very appropriate. It is very easy to spread. Unfortunately, it has some alcohol in it, but usually alcohol dries out my skin somehow for some reason, but this guy, it does not happen. Now, the finish on this guy is satin, so I can use it actually without setting it with a powder. I like setting it with a powder because it gives me a bit more longevity, but it's not looking greasy. It's not going to look very dewy. It's going to set to a sort of semi-satin finish, and it's going to be lovely. It's very skin-like, which is the primary thing I look for in my foundation and BB, CC creams, whatever, in my color products, base products for the face. I look for them to be like my skin. I look for them to not look makeup-y. And this guy certainly does not. This product is sort of sheer to light coverage. And if you don't have a lot of trouble with your skin, I think it's a fantastic pick because it will look like your skin. I really recommend you try this. Next, I have my Chanel Soleil Tinta Chanel. This is the bronzing makeup base according to them. I use it as a cream bronzer. I'll show you how much I have left. Really not very much. I'm a big user of this bronzing base. You see how it's a bit orange in its undertone, which is not ideal for contouring. So this bronzing base is really coming only in one shade. Unfortunately, it's not going to be suitable for anybody sort of more tan than medium, possibly. Even on medium, it's not going to be super contrasting. So really it's for fair to light skin people, in my opinion. It's good to bronze up sort of the high points of your cheeks, sort of around the letter 3. You know the drill. This is not a contouring product. I wouldn't recommend attempting to contour with this. I think it's going to be horrible, especially if you have light skin. You'll have like chocolatey stripes on your under your cheekbones. No, this is for bronzing. As it says, as it suggests on the packaging, it's a bronzing base. So, you know, big brush, big diffuse areas, and yes, that will give you a really nice, healthy looking bronzy skin. Moreover, in the summer, I think this is very wearable on actually bare skin. It holds well. It is actually quite lovely. I think it's a really winning product for Chanel. My complaint about this product is, Chanel, do you think everybody's fair to light? No, we have more skin colors. I think you should probably accommodate more people. So I think this is probably not enough in terms of color range, but you know, if it does fit within your fair to light to maybe light medium, I think you'll love it, but again, I don't think it's very inclusive of Chanel to do that. Next, we have this corrector. This is for my under eye circles. If I'm having a particularly bad night, the morning after, this guy is my little helper. This is a corrector in light bisque. It is my second sort of little pan of it. And you see I've made a bit of a dip already. Now the beauty of this guy is, yes, it's slightly salmon toned, you can see here, but it is not sort of orangey salmon toned enough to make such a big difference that you need to cover your corrector with concealer. This kind of is in two for me, that it does neutralize the under eyes a little bit. I only apply it right here where the blue is the most notable. I don't go, you know, ham with it all over the under eye. I don't think it's the purpose of this product. The purpose of this product is really neutralization. And the benefit of this product is that it's not orange enough or salmon toned enough to have to be covered up. I think this, on a fair skin tone like mine, you need just a little bit where you have the blue circle, the dark circle under your eye. Apply it, you know, in very pointed manner, and then you will not need to cover it up because it's just skin toned enough to be able to be pulled off. The texture is quite creamy. I think you can get away without setting it, especially if you have dry skin, but I still set it because I enjoy the feel of set makeup and I think it holds better. I wear my makeup for very long hours, so although I have dry skin, I prefer to set it anyway. Next I have this eye base by Lancome. I believe they advertise it as a sort of water resistant base. I cannot complain. I don't really have very problematic lids. It holds my makeup well. Right now you can see that this is actually exactly the same as when I applied, and I applied it at 6 a.m. and it is a, you know, 12 hours later now, and it's still on very nicely. Nothing has happened to the shadows. So this is really for me a good base. However, I can't vouch for it because I don't have problems with my lids or problems with shadows staying on normally. Most bases work well for me, so I think, you know, give it a try, but I'm not sure that it's going to be perfect for everybody. Next, powder product. Oh, I love this. This is my jam. This is my powder foundation by Guerlain, and this is Lingerie de Peau. I also have a Parure powder, which is also a fantastic foundation. I personally don't see a huge difference between them. I think they're very comparable. They're pretty much very similar. I have them in different shades. You know, that one is my summer color and this one is my winter color. So that's why I'm using this one. So this is in color 01 Pale Beige, you know, the lightest color that they have. This is my sort of winter color. You see it here, major pan. This is refillable, so I can just buy a refill. This is my second refill in this one already. I really enjoy this one. It looks really good on my dry skin. It lasts a decent amount of time. I'm not sure how it will last on other skin types, but on my skin type, it does not highlight any dry patches. It glides in very nicely. I don't use sponge for application because, you know, using sponge for powder foundations usually means, yes, you get decent coverage, but at the same time, it'll look a little cakey. And this one, although it's really not a cakey product at all, if you apply it with a sponge, it has a potential of being cakey on dry skin. So I would say apply this with a brush and it'll be great. So this one I think is a winner. Then an everyday setting powder. This is an Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Diffuse Light. This is the sort of pale yellow. Gives you a bit of glow, but like a natural satin finish to the skin. It's very flattering. I think most people can pull it off. It'll look ashy if you have darker skin tone, so go for another shade. But if you're pale like me and yellow undertoned, this is really going to be quite nice. This is, you know, it's a good setting powder. I'm not sure it's my favorite. My favorite is probably Meteorites. I use it as a setting powder, but I do understand that not everybody likes a very glowy finish. I do. This is going to give you a bit of glow. Let's move on to the eyebrows. I have two products here. One is my MAC Omega Matte Shadow that I use for my eyebrows. And I have for a long time, this is my second pan of it, and I have a hit pan on it. This is a very versatile color. I think it suits a lot of people because it is so very neutral, slightly cool, and quite light, taupey undertone color. It looks good on most eyebrows. I would say if you're much darker than me in terms of your hair color, I think you might want to go to another shade, but if you're like light to medium brown, this is going to work very well. Also, I think it'll work well in blonde brows as well. So very versatile color. If you need a crease shade, Omega is also wonderful. And my favorite styling mousse is from Clinique, and it's Just Browsing. I've spoken about this before. This is 03 Deep Brown. It has a tiny little brush with fibers and tinted mousse. So I love to quick fill in my brows with this. It's such a versatile product. If you don't have large bald spots in your brows and you want something fast, this is really good. You can also go for the Benefit one, but I do like the Clinique better. However, it has less product in it, so up to you what you want. When it comes to eyes, I have a few things. I have my favorite, most basic MAC Quad that I use. A couple of colors in there are not that essential, and a couple of colors in there are my favorites, and I'm going to talk to you about them. So this is a super basic quad that is my go-to if I don't know what to do. I do rotate color products in and out of my collection. I have a lot of them, and I really like going through them and trying different colors, trying different looks. But this is one that just stays in my stash and doesn't really leave it because it is so basic. So the colors that I have here are Gesso, which is just a white matte color. I don't think this is a necessary color. Basically, this can be replaced by any light sort of brow bone matte color. For me, it doesn't matter which one is it. At this point it's Gesso, but I think I do like Brulee better. This is Soft Brown. This is a nice warm crease shade. Very flattering, very easy, very blendable, not super pigmented, but pigmented enough to create a shadow. Basically, I blend out a lot of different colors with this one in my crease. This is the star of this quad, and I think one of the necessary products. Not that any makeup is necessary, but what I mean is if I was to pick MAC shadows that I love, this would be absolutely one of them, and an absolutely great gem to have. And this is called Patina. Why do I think it's so, so, so good? Because I'm wearing it today all over my lid, and that's it basically. That's all I'm wearing. It has, it's like a satin finish, but not too sparkly. It's not too matte. It's easily blendable. It's not too pigmented. It's not too little pigment. And it has such a good color. It's a little bit bronze, a little bit brown, a little bit gold, a little bit green, a little bit gray. It's such an interesting color, and it's so, so easy to pull off. I think it's so neutral that it looks great with any kind of look. And here we have Smut. I also think it's a very good shade. This is what it looks like. So it's like this grayed out brown. It's not ultra pigmented and very, very buildable. So you can really sort of build it up to whatever intensity you want to build it up. Why do I think it's really great to have shades like this in your everyday stash and not the super ultra pigmented, say, black or really dark brown? Because then you have a lot of control over how hardcore you want your look to be and how much contrast you want to apply to your look. I prefer not to do a very contrasting smoky eye, for instance, for daytime, because it's not always appropriate in every work environment. So I prefer something slightly less pigmented but very buildable, such as Smut, because it's just, you know, whatever look you come out with is dose dependent and you have control over it. And it's not going to be bam color. It's going to be, you know, outer corner. You're going to build up whatever intensity you want and you are able to stop wherever you want. Moreover, although it isn't ultra pigmented, it is quite blendable. So I think those are very, very good shades. This soft brown and Omega can be interchanged, I think, and this light one can be whatever light matte color you want, or shimmery color, light shimmer color, whatever you want in there, really. But I think these two are real stars and real workhorses of this quad for me. Next eye product is this Le Crayon Khôl by Lancome. This is a very, very basic brown liner. There's absolutely nothing special about it. I don't think it's the best or the worst one out there. I don't think there's anything noteworthy about it. It's just a very, very, very basic brown liner. The name of the color is Black Coffee. Very appropriate because there it is. It is the basic dark brown. It's very matte. It doesn't set to a complete smudge-proof finish. So I do like to set it at the lash line with a shadow, but I set most of my pencils with a shadow, so it's not anything that is extraordinary to me. I don't think all pencils need setting. This one really does. And I do think it's a nice basic in case you are looking for a smudgeable kohl liner that doesn't set to a waterproof finish. You have the Lancome. And lastly, my basic lip color that I'm going to mention today. Actually, I'm not very sort of faithful to lip colors. I have a couple that are my staples and then I rotate through the rest, and I'm not super, you know, committed to a single color. This one, however, I'm finishing up now, so I kind of put it in my stash and I am using it up at a more, I'm using it more faithfully just because I'm using it up. So it made it into this video about my basic products. This is a Volupte Sheer Candy. I'm not sure which color it is in, by Yves Saint Laurent. Of course, the packaging is adorable. This is not my favorite formula by Yves Saint Laurent. However, I've used up so much of it that there's very, very little left. I don't think I'll buy it again. It's on me today. It's this balmy sort of lipstick with a tint of color that dries down to a stain on your lips, which is why it's so wearable and so very easy, because once the lipstick wears off, you're left with something behind that is not very obvious, but it's there and it livens up your face a little bit. So I do think Volupte Sheer Candies are cute. I do think they have some nice colors. I do think they're comfortable, but I don't think they're actually very moisturizing. Despite the fact that they have this balmy texture to them, they aren't a moisturizing lip product. Please make no mistake, they're not going to leave your lips supple and better than what they were before. They're not going to dry out your lips, but they're not going to make them much better. So I have better products now. I've bought this before I knew about this guy, the Dior Lip Glow, which does a similar kind of effect on my skin, on my lips, but it is way more moisturizing and holds on to the lips for longer. So for now, this YSL is in there until I finish it off. Look how very little I have of it left. So it did make it into this core collection just because I'm using it all the time right now. That's it for today. I hope it was interesting for you to see what kind of core products I'm using right now. I might start making videos about the products I rotate through. These are just what stays there. It's what stays there all the time, and many of them are ones that I have repurchased. For instance, this HangoverX primer I've purchased before. This is my second tube. This Clinique BB cream is something I will purchase again. This is my first bottle though. Soleil de Chanel, this is my second jar of it. I've finished one before. My Guerlain Lingerie de Peau powder, I've finished a refill of it twice before, so this is my third one and I'm almost done with that. I have finished I think 2 Omegas before. This is, I think, my third one, maybe my second or third one. I'm not sure on that one. And I finished a Patina before. So this is my second pan of Patina, and I have a dip going on there. So you can see that these products are ones that I've really sort of kept buying. A lot of them are not my first go through. And they're really worthwhile because I keep going back to them. That means I love them. Well, that's it for today. See you later. Bye-bye.